Hey, what's going on everyone? Misha Wilson here and welcome back to my YouTube channel for part 2 of this playlist where I'm sharing with you how to create a cult-like following that absolutely loves you, that purchases from you over and over and over again, and who virally spreads your message. Now, if you didn't watch part 1, please go back and watch part 1, all right? Part 2 will not make nearly as much sense. If you didn't watch part 1, I'll leave a link to part 1 directly below in the comments section. Please go back and watch part 1 before you dive into part 2. And with that said, I know you'll get a ton of value out of this video. If you do, let me know in the comments section below what your biggest takeaway is. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon notification button so that you're notified when I do more videos just like this. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right in. So I messed up the title of this slide. This should be my moral code, right? So these are aspects of my moral code. No get rich quick. No hardcore get rich quick. So I actually believe that you can make a lot of money very quickly because I've experienced it, right? But having said that, I'm not going to tell people, you know, you're going to make $1 million overnight. No get rich quick. No wanting the system to do all of the work for you, all right? Hard work is the key to doing anything worthwhile in life. Together we stand, divided we fall. Always take responsibility. Invest in yourself is the highest form of maturity in an entrepreneur. Substance over style. Let your results do the talking. Embrace reality. Understand how it actually is. Focus on what you control and produce results based on how it actually is versus wishing it were some other way and not taking action, right? To hit your goals, work hard and work smart, all right? Now, how many times have you guys seen me perpetuate this message through my marketing? How many times on a webinar have you seen me no get rich quick, no wanting the system to do all the work for you, right? That's me perpetuating my moral code through my marketing, because when you have a moral code, when you stand by your moral code no matter what, it makes you attractive, right? Now, what I didn't touch on there is that how do these things benefit me besides just having, you know, the actual moral code that makes me attractive? Any guesses? So you repel nightmare customers, you attract good customers. But then at the same time, and just to be transparent, I 100% believe in all of these elements of my moral code. And if you don't, if you create a moral code that you don't believe in, people will know, right? But having said that, when I constantly perpetuate it through my marketing, and when I tell a story about investing in a mastermind, and me investing in a mastermind brings my business to the next level, allows me to hit multiple six figures, and then I invest in another mastermind, I invest in my intellectual capital, I invest in my education, I go all in with my business, right? And as a result, I get the result that my audience wants. What does that do to my audience? Makes them want to do the same thing. So if you have a mastermind to promote, right, that helps with your sales process. If I didn't believe in masterminds, I wouldn't be selling them, firstly, right? But having said that, do you see how that can lead people down the path that you want them to go down? Does that make sense? Again, just don't lie, all right? If you believe that you can get rich overnight, use it as part of your moral code, but people will see through it. The attractive character shares past personality flaws. This is a big one, right? Would Superman be Superman without kryptonite? That's right. Right? You have to have weaknesses that you overcome, and that's what your past personality flaws are. So your character flaws should be flaws that your audience struggles with, and in sharing them, you create empathy with your audience, and you should share how you've overcome those same flaws. The key, you don't want to be held back by your character flaws, but you want to share stories about having been held back and how you overcame those personality flaws in order to become someone unstoppable. Who here wants to follow someone that makes shit happen, right? That's the person who you're attracted to follow. You're not necessarily attracted to follow the Big Lebowski, right? He's a good character, but having said that, if in your marketing you're talking about sitting on the couch all day, it's not going to do much for you. Be the superhero who still understands what it feels like to be the average Joe, all right? There's reasons there's movies made about superheroes. People like that story. People want to feel understood, all right? People feel as if their problems have never occurred for anybody else, which is complete and totally irrational. But when you make them feel understood, you're the person who goes ahead and creates the bond with them through making them feel like you've been exactly where they are. So who here has seen me perpetuate, my old tendency to procrastinate, perfectionism, fear of failure, used to be kind of lazy, horrible on the phone, anything with numbers, right? Who here watched the Facebook Live a couple of days ago where I talked about just finishing up the webinar presentation because I set a deadline, and that's how I overcome the personality flaw of procrastination, right? That's a story that ties in a past personality flaw and ties in how I overcame it, right? Does that make sense? How many times have I talked about being afraid of failure, but still overcoming it based on systems, right? Does that create more of a sense of I'm a real person to you guys, right? That's what you're going after. Whether you love him or you hate him, he knows how to get and keep attention, right? So the attractive character creates polarity. Now, the big thing when it comes to polarity, when you're polarizing, people tune in, all right? Whether they love you or they hate you, they still tune in. And when you have people tuned in, what's the scarcest commodity in the marketplace? Attention. You have people's attention. What's better, to have 100 people that really like you following you, or to have 10,000 people who hate you and 10,000 people that love you? 10,000 people that hate you and 10,000 people that love you, right? If you're always trying to make everybody happy by not creating a sense of us versus them, you really kind of more or less limit your reach. When you're polarizing, people tune in, and when people tune in, you have their attention, the scarcest commodity. Having said that, who here knows Rush Limbaugh, Howard Stern? Those are the examples Dagan Smith always used, right? Those are people, and I might have them, have them on the slide. Those are the people who have radio stations that, in our world today, attention, ADHD, everyone's going every which way all the time. Still, even though they're going every which way all the time, when they come on the air, not only do they listen to them, they stop what they're doing, and they make sure to tune in, right? Are they extremely polarizing? Yeah. Do some people still listen who hate them? My dad hated Rush Limbaugh, but he listened to him every morning, and I never understood it, right? It's one of those things.
They get paid very well because of that.
Yeah, very, very, very well. So how you do it is you decide what you stand for and what you stand against, and you create contrast between the two, right? And again, it kind of ties into your actual moral code. So what I stand for, mastery of skill sets, doing the work, constant learning, investing in yourself, going all in, attending the events. Whoops. There we go. Attending the events, all right? That's what I stand for. I stand for, no get rich quick, no wanting the system to do all the hard work for me. So when I perpetuate that, I repel my best customers, I repel my worst customers, I attract my best customers, and I create a sense of polarization. I create a sense of us versus them. What I stand against, not investing in yourself, refunders. Now, specific types of refunders, people who buy a product and wait until the last day that they have marked on their calendar and then refund, right? That's theft. It's theft of intellectual property. When someone buys a product, goes through it, knowing that they're going to refund, that's theft of intellectual property. I stand against that. Blaming the system for lack of results, right? In my mind, if the system works for someone else can make it work for them too, if they're willing to master skill sets, if they're willing to invest in themselves. Laziness, right? It's a lot of laziness in this marketplace. People don't want to do what's necessary in order to create the result. Now, if I write a story scorning laziness, everybody who's on my list who's lazy immediately gets repelled, but more valuable to me, simultaneously, the people who aren't lazy immediately become magnetically attracted to me, right? Because we're on the same page. What did I talk about yesterday? What's the fastest way to attract a Democrat? Diss a Republican, find a common enemy, scorn the common enemy, and vice versa, right? Diller's post. So yeah, Diller actually wrote a post about refunders, and it was called "You Are All Losers." And he just more or less wrote about people who buy and do that, where they wait until the last day to refund after going through the product, and he just scorned it, and didn't really end the post with anything but, if you're one of those persons, please kindly leave, get out of my world. I don't want to deal with you. Very straight to the point. The thing went viral. The entire marketplace was sharing it, right? And everybody on his list that thinks like me had a bond with him, right? That increased the relationship based on us being on the same page, us versus them. Not taking responsibility for your results. That's one that I stand against. If you don't take responsibility for your failure, you can't take responsibility for your success, right? So you have to look in the mirror and you have to realize that wherever you are in your journey right now, you're right there for a reason, and it's based on the action steps that you've taken. And if you don't come to that realization, once you're a 6 and multiple 6-figure earner, you can't take credit for being a 6 or multiple 6-figure earner, because you're saying that thing outside of myself made me successful. The Super Affiliate Network helped Ace and Rich become successful. They made it happen, right? They took responsibility. Get rich quick, I touched on that a minute ago. And again, the fastest way to create the sense of us versus them is not to talk about all the things you stand for all the time. It's in scorning the common enemy, all right? In talking about what you stand against. There's 2 ways of doing it. The fastest way to create a sense of polarization is to scorn the common enemy. Make sense? Awesome. The attractive characters are authorities, all right? So we've been talking about how to operate without social proof a lot during this weekend, right? This is a really valuable lesson for all of you guys to understand, and I talked about it a little bit when I was sitting back there last night, but you are the authority, or excuse me, people listen to you when you're the authority, but having said that, what comes down to people perceiving you as the authority is your level of certainty. It's not a picture on stage. That helps, right? It's not a top earner award. That helps. Someone with a top earner award who isn't certain is less attractive than someone with a top earner award who's the contrarian mindset, right? You think that if someone hates you, they're not going to follow. If you have attention and if you're polarizing, they still follow even though they hate you. And then what happens when more people are following you? People go and talk about you, and your audience gets bigger based on viral growth, right? Who was on TV the entire election? Literally, you turned on every single channel, Democratic or Republican. Who was on TV on the news channels? Donald Trump. If he wouldn't have got himself on TV through being really polarizing, do you think his audience would have grown virally like it did? Exactly. Starting to get it? Yeah?
I just want to say, Francois actually, he liked things you saw in one of your videos.
Yeah?
Like, oh, okay, you're like normal, you're like a normal person.
Yep. See, it actually works, right? The last thing you want to do is be boring and be textbook. That will repel people faster than anything else if you're textbook and boring. If used correctly, your own unique language creates a sense of an insider's club, all right? So as an example, we talked about market research and your own unique language with a marketplace, right? But if you were to, say something over and over and over and over with your friends, and there's an inside joke, and you're at a table and you say something and 5 people laugh at the table, but no one else does. That's an insider's club based on the language that you use, right? You can do that in your email through using certain terms that creates a sense of an insider's club with the people who are around enough, all right? When they tune in consistently, they follow, those are your raving fans, and again, creates a sense of an insider's club. Don't be boring. Need to put this on a separate slide to reinforce it. The last thing you want to do is be boring. So here are some storylines, all right? The attractive character uses certain storylines in their marketing. Loss and redemption. Lost my entire tennis career, what I'd worked for my entire life. Lost my ability to go play Division I tennis and then possibly a pro career, right? Lost it all, got addicted to pain pills, absolute low of the low, got evicted, rebuilt, you know? Created a new, current, awesome, present reality for myself. Loss and redemption. Do you think people can identify with that? Who here has lost something they love, right? Loss and redemption. Us versus them. We just talked about us versus them, what I stand for and what I stand against. If you write an email scorning a certain behavior with a story, the storyline is us versus them. Renee does this well, right? She's really good at writing emails. Creating us versus them in your marketing, again, repels and attracts. Repels your nightmare clients, attracts your best clients. Either which way, keeps attention. Before and after, all right? Before I found Solo Ads, I was using the Power Editor and I was miserable. After I found Solo Ads, life is great, generating a lot of leads. You want to learn how to use Solo Ads, right? It's very simple, but also extremely powerful. How many infomercials have before and after cry and buy testimonials? Pretty consistent, right? You're starting to see these patterns in marketing. Amazing discovery. You can use this one with Solo Ads too, right? I was stuck, I was struggling, I was overwhelmed, I was trying Bing, PPV, trying all this crap, spending all day in front of my laptop, 0 results. Had my mentor say, Misha, why don't you just tap into other people's email lists and send a solo ad out to other people's email lists? I had this amazing discovery, immediately implemented what he told me, 200 leads the next day, 6-figure business 6 months later, all using Solo Ads. See how that amazing discovery created demand for the product, Solo Ads, right? Secret telling. And again, this creates a sense of what? What did we talk about on the last slide? Insider's Club, all right? When you tell someone a secret, what do they feel like? An insider. Their whole business is built on secrets. Russell Brunson's .com Secrets book, right? Russell Brunson's a master with the attractive character. So tell secrets to your audience to create that sense of an insider's club. And who doesn't want to know a secret? Well, you open a subject in an email with a subject line, you know, saying, I've got a secret to tell you. That's going to get opened pretty regularly. Third-person testimonials. Very simple. Whenever you get a testimonial, send it out to your list. It helps with authority, and the more testimonials you have, the better, right? As long as they're good testimonials. All right, you guys understand the storylines? Does it make sense? Do you see how all these things do certain things in your marketing that have a benefit to you? Whether it be identification, us versus them, attract and repel, before and after, again, identification, amazing discovery, create demand for what the thing was that led to the amazing discovery, secret telling, insider's club, third person testimonial, building authority, right? You see how that works?